All right. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you guys could make it. We're here, our first session of Intro to Digital Design, AAD70 for fall semester. This will be kind of our first session, and we're going to feel out a few things, go over a few things. I know that you guys have all been really good about getting into the content for the week, but I want to just go over some stuff, talk about a few things, and then at the end, I'll open it up for questions and we'll go back and forth. I also just wanted to, you guys have all been introduced to me via my welcome letter, announcements, all that, but hi, here I am. I am always on the computer or my phone or my iPad, so I'm really easy to get a hold of, and you should expect me to get back to you right away if you send me an email or a message. Bryson, and if you guys switch to gallery view, you should be able to see everyone in the meeting. Bryson is our tutor assigned to our class. He's super yay, and I'm very excited to have him. He helped me out last term. Was it just last term? I mean, it feels like it was a year ago because spring 2020 feels like it was just crazy. But Bryson is going to be here. His information will always be on the first page of the week's module, and then on that last page of the week's module, he's got an open tutor hour, or several hours, right?
Yeah.
Bryson, why don't you play that?
Okay, so basically, I, as a tutor for this class, you can come to this Zoom session that I host every Thursday. I believe it's from 1 to 3, I'm sorry. 1 to 3 p.m. And I can help you guys out with anything that you need relating to this class. And the link is in Canvas. So yeah, if you guys need any help, any questions or feedback or anything like that, Thursdays from 1 to 3, I'll be there.
Yep. And then he's also has his email there. He will be posting Quizlets for the quizzes.
Oh yeah.
So
are you still doing the same one?
Yep, same one. So you should be able to use your same Quizlets for study guides for the quizzes. And that said, I'll just comment on the quizzes really quickly. My goal for the class is for you guys to learn the material and to get good at the material and to retain the material. So there'll be a lot of repetition, and the quizzes will be on things that we've talked about and things that you've practiced. And I'm the worst at trying to trick you into giving the wrong answer. It's obvious what the answers are if you're paying attention, and I want you guys to get it, and I want you to get 100%. So I apologize in advance if I'm too easy, but there is a ton of material in this class. This is a massive amount of class for an introductory class. I mean, you're not only getting into just the ins and outs of the Mac OS. That was more when we were in a Mac lab, so I touch a little bit on both the Mac operating system and Windows. File management, design elements and principles, and then we get into the software, which each of those software in themselves, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, are humongous design tools. And we're gonna kill it and hit all of them in our 16-week term. So that said, don't be afraid of the quizzes, don't stress about them. Bryson does these awesome Quizlets and little study sessions, take advantage of that, and you're going to all do great. And then he and I are both here for you for support besides these face-to-face Zooms. My office hours are Wednesdays at 5, I believe. And then this Tuesday session, I still have to read through all your surveys and kind of see if we're going to keep it on Tuesday. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do it Monday because that's the first day that I launch the content, and I kind of like to give you guys a chance to look at it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do it on Friday because by then, if you need help and you need guidance and I want to show you something, you're going to have to scramble to get the work done by Sunday. So Tuesday is kind of good. I'm pretty flexible on the time of day for Tuesday. So if it turns out a ton of you work during the day or you know, this just isn't a good time, then I may change it slightly. That said, I do record these sessions and I post them usually within a day, usually the same day, to the same Zoom assignment where you found the link to get to the assignment so that you can watch it if you're not able to make it. And while I say it's mandatory, what is mandatory about it is that if you can't make it, let me know so that I know you're paying attention, and I will give you, I keep the points very low. It's only worth 5 points to show up, but it's going to be super helpful if you can show up, and you'll get a lot more out of the class if you can make it. It's required and it's part of your participation grade. It will help you a ton, but if you can't make it, email me. And I know that there's going to be those of you that always will be working, you know, at the time that we decide. It's kind of inevitable. So there's that. Canvas, you guys all seem to be pretty cool with Canvas, and I set my class up so that every week I publish, turn off this email situation. I publish the week's module all at once on Mondays, usually by about 10 in the morning, and then you can guide yourself through the entire week's content. I recommend kind of going through it and seeing if you have any questions to bring to the weekly Zoom so that you can take advantage of face-to-face and talking with classmates and talking with Bryson on whatever day we decide, whether it's Tuesday or, you know, if it ends up being Wednesday or whatever. And then going back and actually taking your time and working your way through the module. You've got the entire week till Sunday night at midnight to get everything in. And then we start it all over again for the next week. That takes us through the entire semester. I do the entire semester that way. As far as late work goes, I do accept late work, especially if you communicate with me. I know things are crazy and a lot of us are working multiple jobs or between jobs because of the COVID situation or working from home and things are a little nutty. Just email me, just talk to me, and I'll work with you to make sure that you have an opportunity to get this stuff done. And then I will take late work all the way until like the second to last week of school. You won't get full credit, but some credit is better than a 0. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, we're going to be covering a ton of stuff, and there's going to be points where you kind of feel overwhelmed. Don't be. Just take your time, one thing at a time. Just talk to me, and we'll figure it out. Let me just. I'm looking at all you guys, but I'm going to pop over and look at our Canvas just to remind myself. I'm used to having 2 monitors. Oh yeah. So I am in Chicago right now. It's after 5 in Chicago. I will be here this week, next week, and then I'll be back in Sacramento. So I'll have my office hour and our Canvas or our Zoom session this week and next week, both from Chicago. Shouldn't affect anything, but it's just a little different because I'm used to like monitors and my laptop and having you guys like where I can see everything at once. But I'm going to pop over and just look really quick. All that good stuff. Okay. So regarding the software, I wanted to touch on that. You guys all have heard by now that Sierra is going to be providing the software that you need for this class at no charge, which is fantastic news. That wasn't the case for spring or for summer. So yay on that. But they're still working through the kinks, and there's going to be a backlog for how to get the software. Don't worry, we don't need it yet. We actually have a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I think, before we start Photoshop, and that's going to be the first software we get into. We do a few things with the Creative Cloud app sooner than that, which is part of the Creative Cloud license, but you can also access that through the Adobe website. And if you're having trouble at all, just like I said, email me. You won't get marked down because this is not your fault. This is technical difficulties. And we found out the day before school started, 2 days before school started, that you guys were getting the software for free. It was rumored, but they hadn't confirmed it. And then they let us know at the last minute. And everybody had to go through and change everything that they had written for their welcome letter and for the announcements and everything. And then they told us how that was going to happen the day of. So I don't have a lot of information for you other than what they gave me. And I posted exactly what they gave me and kind of what Christina's experience had been with trying to get it. There are students that have had success, so I know it works, but I'm not surprised if it doesn't work every time. I mean, Zoom was down yesterday. Our Sierra College Zoom was down yesterday. So bear with students, the IT and student services, and just try emailing them, try calling them if you're not able to get it done, because they're going to be the ones to help you and walk you through how to get it. None of us instructors have any more information than what I gave you. So I apologize about that. And hopefully by the time we don't start, let me look at my Canvas right now. We don't start Photoshop until week 5. So we have a bit of time. We're going to be doing just kind of operating systems, Windows, Mac OS, and we're going to be doing design elements and principles before we get into the software, so that you've got some foundational stuff and know what the expectations are as far as designing as you're learning the software. So again, I apologize. I wish that I had the answer and a magic key and I could just tell you guys to push the button on that software thing, but all I know is what I posted in that announcement. So that said, before I go on, I want to stay on this subject. Does anyone have questions about the software?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I do have the account, but it's on my personal account. It's okay, I still use it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you already had an Adobe account? Is
Yep.
that what, yeah? And then did you already have the software too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're good to go. And so your screen name says Jackson. Is that your name, first name, last name?
Last name. Unfortunately, I don't. Wait, how do you edit it back to something else? I don't know how to do it.
I think you right click on it. Does anybody know, or double click it? Nope, I just put you guys in full screen. Let's see.
You just hover over your camera, and then in the upper right hand corner there's a little 3 dots. Click on that.
Change your name.
And then you go to rename. So.
Oh yeah, and there it is, rename. Yeah, do me a favor, in case anyone missed that when I was speaking earlier, change your screen name to what will match for attendance, because before I cut you guys loose at the end, I'm going to really quickly go through and do attendance and give you all credit for being here.
How do I go about that?
Yours is fine, Zach.
Oh, never mind.
I can see your name. Just yours says Jackson's, and so I don't know. I don't 100% know.
Well, the last name I have on here is my legal last name. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Fisher.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can change it. Let's see. Zach, what's your name? You're registered in the class name.
The name I would be registered on is Zach Ward rather than
Yeah,
Zach.
change it to Zach Ward for me. And then,
Okay.
And then Jackson's, if you could change yours, that would be awesome too. So I know who you are. Okay, cool. So the other thing I wanted to just touch on really quick, how many of you have done this Zoom thing, like are already getting pretty comfortable with it? You can do like just a hand raise, or you can use the little reactions in the bottom to do like a hand wave. Thumbs up.
Just comfortable with Zoom in general?
Yeah, I just want to see like who's everybody's cool on it. Okay. So there's these little reaction things. These are handy, especially if you want to keep yourself muted. I do ask that you try to have your camera on just so that I know and get familiar with your faces, and it just makes it a lot easier for me to teach and for me to make sure that I'm crediting people that are actually here with participation points. Also, I know some people don't have cameras, and you can just let me know if you don't have a camera. So that's also very fine. There'll be times when I share my screen or I ask one of you to share your screen, especially if we're like troubleshooting a question or trying to figure out, you know, a tutorial or something strange with Illustrator. We'll just share screens. So that might be something that we do. Like I said, I'm recording every session now. That wasn't something I did right away, but I started doing that so that I could post it. And I just put it directly on the assignment. I just add it to the assignment to the bottom. So you can go back and watch, especially if I do like a demo of something or there's something you want to refer back to. It's nice to have that recording. And then also the chat window. I see that quite a few of you guys know how to use it, know it's there. I forget that it's there because I'm looking at my screen and your faces. And if you send me a message, I 100% want to answer it, except I might not know it's there. So you might have to tell me to go look at it. At the end of every session, I'll open it up for a question and answer. And I'll say, if you don't have any questions and you're cool, you can leave. If you want to stick around to see what other people ask in case, you know, it's helpful to you, you can stay. And I'll kind of do just a casual question and answer time and demo time. If you ever want to stick around and just get me one-on-one, that's also something you just let me know. But like I said, I also have my office hours, which are going to be just an open Zoom. For summer, I did my office hours, you know, every Wednesday for an hour in Zoom, and no one ever showed up. So I just, you know, went about my business. I put it up on my screen. And so you just, you know, come ring that Zoom doorbell, and I'm happy to help you if you need me. And then Bryson will have a similar situation. Well, he'll just be in there sitting in his tutor hours, just waiting for you guys to come and ask for help. Let me go back to Canvas really quick and let you know. Next week, we're going to start. This is kind of like a get to know the class, get to know the format, study the syllabus, you know, making sure everybody's on the same page, giving you guys a chance to deal with the software situation. And then next week, we're going to get into just kind of a real Mac and PC computer file management basics. The class will work real similarly every week. You'll have a lecture to read. There will be video tutorials to watch. There will be a tutorial or an exercise to do based on that video and based on that lecture, along with a 5 to 10 question quiz on that tutorial and lecture. Every once in a while, I think maybe 5 times throughout the term, I give you a reading assignment, a cool article that I found, and then questions to answer about the article. And then I always try to mix in creative inspiration, things that I think are cool. I miss the classroom setting and being able to bring packaging in and books in and things that I find cool in the design world. So I'm trying to digitally do that and make sure that we're not, that we've got the inspiration and that we're seeing all of the cool things that are out there making us want to pursue design. I'm gonna open up a class. I think it's I can't remember if I have it set up. I think it's a discussion, and it's a creative inspiration discussion board where you post, you get points. It's kind of somewhere where we can just be like, I found this week and this is awesome, and just throw it up there for the rest of the class. It's not a requirement, but it's just part of our classroom community. So I'll turn that on for us. And then I think that's basically it. That's the class in the nutshell. We have we'll do a project for Photoshop, a project for Illustrator, and then in InDesign, we do a couple of practice in InDesign layout projects, and then you'll get an opportunity to just kind of throw what you've done so far in Photoshop and Illustrator into a couple of portfolio pages, layout pages of a portfolio that you could potentially go on to use in the future by adding more and more pages to it to make some digital portfolio pages. So I try to keep things as simple as possible. Every technique and skill and tool that I want you to learn in each of the software, you'll get a tutorial for and a little exercise to do. I'll demo it for you, or there'll be a video demoing it for you. And it's really straightforward. I want you to succeed. I want you to learn it. I don't want to make it, you know, inaccessible in any way. So I'm excited. That said, I'm going to open it up to questions. Nobody leave yet, because I need to also, maybe I should do this first. Let me do the roll call thing. And I'm going to switch screens, so I'm not going to be able to see you in order to give you points. So when I say your name, if you could just pipe up with a here so that I know you're here, that would be helpful. I'm going to go to Canvas and to the roster so I can go down the list really quick. You guys can still hear me, right? Okay, Christina I know is here. Ileana?
Yeah, here.
Okay. Kenneth Dean. What about Samuel? Riley?
Here.
Damien? Damien.
Here.
You're the one that says Jackson.
Jackson, right?
Okay. Damien. Ismar?
Here.
Michelle?
Here.
Leanna?
Here.
And if I say your name wrong or you prefer a different name, just let me know. I'll get it eventually. Lauren?
Here.
Gina?
Here.
Here. Hannah, I saw. Morgan, I saw. Is it Natalie? Or Natalie?
Natalie, yeah. Here.
It is Natalie. Okay. Jacob? Zach, I saw. Is there a Jacob here? Okay. And then Anna, I saw. I think that's everybody. Let me pop back over. Anna, you're here, right? Somewhere? Yeah. Okay. Yep, I see you. I see, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna open up for questions. I'm gonna ask you guys, even if you have no questions, to stick around till about 5:35, and then you can go ahead and pop off. Good luck with the rest of the week. I'm here via email if you need me. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you guys and to our class. I think it's gonna be awesome. So anybody have any questions? Yes, Bryson.
Do you mean a 5:35 Pacific time or Chicago?
No, I'm so sorry. I'm in Chicago. It's 3:35. Thank you very much, Pacific time, or 5:35 Central Standard Time. I have been in Chicago since a week ago. Well, I left Sacramento Saturday the 15th, drove to Chicago, took 3 days, moving my son to art school. So he has to quarantine here for 2 weeks before school starts. So I basically live in Chicago right now, and it's kind of awesome. There was a thunderstorm last night. The cicadas are out, and so it sounds like an anime movie the moment you walk out of the flat. And it's really muggy and weird right now because there was a thunderstorm. So I got up at the crack of dawn to do my walk because it's hot and muggy, and it was already hot and muggy, and everything was flooded because I heard the thunder, but I didn't realize how much it poured. So it's pretty fun. I like it. I'm really sorry California is on fire. That happened after we left, and it's depressing and scary, and I hate it. So I'll be glad to get home, but also sad to get home. Anyway, sorry. That's just why I'm in Chicago. You guys have any other questions for me? And if we're all good, then we don't have to stay till 3:35. We can go now. Yeah, Riley.
So I did the Creative Cloud Library assignment, and so I'm having some trouble with like putting the fonts in.
Okay.
So I found a couple of fonts I liked and I enabled them, but I can't seem to find them in my library, even though it says they've been put there. So I was like, is there a spot where I should look?
So, is that me or that's me? Sorry guys, that was really loud. I forgot I had Behance Adobe Live up from earlier. I was like, wow, it's like movie music. If you use Adobe fonts and just add little hearts to ones you like, that would be the best way to do it. And just, it's kind of awesome. Like coming from a long time design background where we used to use, you know, you used to have to buy fonts for all these different ways and buy third-party software to manage your fonts. Having Adobe, I mean, it kind of sucks that they have like their hand over the whole thing, but it's also kind of awesome because if there's a font you want to use, you just activate it and it's available in all of the software on whatever machine you're working on. So I got to get behind it, but Adobe Fonts is the way to create those libraries. Because what's going to happen is then when we get into the software, all of those libraries you created are going to show up in the software for you. And you're going to be like, oh, there's the fonts I picked. And there's, you know, these images that I liked. And here's the color palette I made. And those are going to show up in the applications, which is really awesome. But yeah, Adobe Fonts would be the easiest way to add fonts to that Creative Cloud library. And on the Creative Cloud app, let me just share my screen real quick. Sure, why not? Okay, can you guys see my Creative Cloud app right now?
Yeah.
So once you're able to get the software, this is, I know the whole thing is called Creative Cloud, but this actually is an application. It has its own little bug down in my, what do you call this thing at the bottom? I'm losing my word. What's it called?
I think it's taskbar.
My taskbar, yes. The Creative Cloud actually has its own little app icon because it is an app. It's kind of a portal to all of the software, but on the left-hand side, it gives you these resource links, and you can jump straight to Adobe Stock, straight to Adobe Fonts, straight to Behance, straight to Adobe Tutorials, and these are all super handy. So I use these all the time. If I need to go find a stock photo or stock illustration, rather than going, you know, to Firefox and typing it in, I just use my Creative Cloud app to jump straight to it, and it will take you to the home page for, oh yeah, I was doing a sticker for someone called Danny Baker. And so you can see my Adobe font window, and this is just from my web browser. And then if you just click the little heart, it'll add it to your favorites. Or you can, and then you'll be able to find it when you get to your lists. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
It's actually really fun. It's kind of like shopping and making like a shopping list for design.
Yeah, I know. I was like, there's so much. It's like, yeah. Where do I start?
I know. And take advantage of it while you guys have that student license, because you'll have it till December. And so you should have access to that as well. Adobe Stock is going to be stock images and stock video, stock sound, but those are at an additional cost. I have like a subscription. I get like 6 images a month or something for $29, or you can buy like individual images if that's something that you want to do. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's graphic design is fun. Web design is fun. That's why we're here. So, okay. Anybody else have questions? Yeah, Christina.
So I don't have any access to Mac or any Apple products at all.
That's fine.
Is that going to be a problem?
No, and I meant to touch on that and I completely spaced on it. So this class, because it used to be, you know, on campus in a Mac lab, a portion of the class was dedicated to just introducing you guys to the Mac OS and making sure everybody was on the same page. Well, we've kept that portion of the class just because in the design world, Apple still plays a huge part, and they kind of have this kind of, you know, corner of the market. I've been in design professionally for 30 years and have never worked on a PC. Every studio that I worked at has had Macintosh. I mean, that's just been what it is. So you are going to just intellectually get some of that information, but I also put information about how it applies if you're on a Windows-based machine. And next week I have like a whole page that's here's a bunch of Mac shortcuts, and I've now created here's the Windows-based PC version of those shortcuts so that you have those as well. But it absolutely makes no difference. Every web designer I know is on a PC, so it is not, it's not a problem. It's getting to be more and more that you can do either one. Photoshop, it seems like Photoshop is always big on a PC, web design big on a PC, animation and video. It goes back and forth. Sometimes Mac, sometimes PC. It just depends. So yeah, no, it won't be a problem at all. I've tried as much as possible when I'm on the curriculum to write Mac or Windows-based machine, but you may catch a few times where it just says Mac. You don't need to have a Mac. It's 100% fine if you're on a PC, as long as you're able to run the applications that we're using. So
okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else? Has anybody taken a class from me before? I recognize Hannah. I was like, Hannah, I recognize your name and your face, but we got cut short. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it moved online last semester.
It moved online, and then I didn't get to see you anymore. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. There will be quite a few weeks where we meet for half an hour and we're done. There will be a few weeks where we go nearly the entire hour. But everything that you need to know, I put into Canvas so that if you can't make these Zooms, you've got the information you need to learn the material and to successfully pass the class without making it to a Zoom. But I do like to have the face-to-face, and I like the interaction. I like talking to you guys. So here we are. Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go. I'll stick around till the very last person hangs up, and I will see you if you need me in my office hours. Look for an announcement about for sure what next week's Zoom is going to be, because I need to read through all the surveys and just determine if I'm going to keep the Tuesday at 3 or if I'm going to mess with that a little bit. So look for an announcement just to verify what next week's will be. But otherwise, have a great week. Let me know if you have questions. Just give me an email. All right. Bye, guys.